Alrighty, welcome back. Weekly update time. Hope everybody's doing good. We are making improvements, painfully so. The vlogs have started. I've got one that's almost done. I just need to do music, which is going to be difficult, I think, for me, for some reason. And then I have another that I'm going to lay the groundwork for tonight. But I'm going to try and keep those coming out once a week-ish. But I'm looking forward to it. I think they're going to be fun. I've had fun with this one so far. It'll definitely be a learning curve. The first couple might be shit, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because of where it'll end up. I think that'll be fine. A general theme for this past week or so has been me discovering that my will has become so much weaker than not only it was, but than I would like it to be, which is very much so at odds with how I saw myself, but I've kind of been able to reframe or really just acknowledge reality instead of some fiction. You know, like I've even made videos in the past talking about like keeping your addictions close to keep that temptation there and build your willpower. And it's gotten to the point where like I've just had to remove them from sight, which is so at odds with who I thought I was. So obviously something needs to change. So this week has been a lot of me forcing myself to be uncomfortable. And this has slowly crept in, maybe even for the last few weeks in the gym, where I've just been like, okay, I need to push harder. You know, there's some corners of my potential that are not getting scratched because I'm not pushing very hard, or not pushing as hard as I definitely could be. And so trying to extend out and find that barrier much more accurately. So it's kind of started there, and now, you know, I'm training for this marathon, which is so hard for me. Like, this is what has really shown me that my mind is not where I need it to be or where I want it to be. You know, like even running today, and I was just listening to a podcast, and I could just feel my mind scratching for any kind of hold, any kind of control I could exercise over the situation because of how uncomfortable it was to just keep running. Like, the running isn't even hard. You know, like I can run probably pretty far, both in terms of lung capacity and leg capacity, and yet my mental capacity is so lacking that as soon as I get to like a mile, I want to stop. I'm thirsty. I don't like the song I'm listening to. I don't like the thing that I'm listening to. I wish this guy would just get to the point. I wish I was watching a different TV show. Maybe I should. It's just all this bullshit that is clouding. It's just my mind is just so uncomfortable with what it's doing that it's trying to just grab hold of something to be more comfortable, which really illustrates how far we've fallen, honestly, which is kind of disappointing, but a good thing. I'd rather recognize that, and especially now that we're moving in the right direction. You know, I've been really conscious of where I want to be versus where I am, and that what has helped that a lot is I've started just sitting and staring at the ceiling. Just looking at the wall, just laying in the bed, just staring, and just thinking. And allowing the river of thoughts to just kind of move through and just noticing it, you know? Like an accidental meditation, honestly. Like, that wasn't my intention to start meditating, but that's sort of what it turned out. Really, it was just, I just need to be more in touch with my thoughts and what's going on in there. I've just been cramming so much noise. And now I have like no distractions on my phone, so there's not really much else to do. I'm kind of being forced that way anyways. Whatever. The point being that I've recognized that I'm not doing as good as I want to be doing, and a large part of that was spending time by myself and just listening to who I am and what I want. The noise that is coming from me instead of from without. Just slowly that has added to an exchange or a change in behavior, seemingly not even of my own desire. It's like, as soon as I stopped cramming full of noise, it's like, okay, I gotta do this thing. And then I just go do it and I don't think about it. There's not a negotiation or an argument with myself. I just go and do it. You know, like I've started changing the things that I pay attention to and studying again more actively. More on that in a little bit. Pushing myself harder in the gym, pushing myself harder with being quiet, and pushing myself harder with getting chores done first instead of like no rewards until the work is done. Pushing myself harder with running and just every area that I can exercise a little bit more restraint and a little bit more hardiness, I suppose. I do, and that's what I've been trying to do anyways, and even if it's just a little bit, but it's really been adding up, I think. I'm noticing some benefits, but given that I haven't been doing it for very long, I'm noticing more of just how uncomfortable it is. I remember when I was a lot younger, it was nothing for me to be like, this is a goal that I have, and then just go and get it and just focus completely on that. And now it's just, there's so much wiggle room. And I'm not really sure what the cause of that is, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that I need to get back, not even back there, I need to get further than I've ever been. And that is painfully obvious. But we're on the track. And I'm not going to give myself the satisfaction of being happy with where I am or with the progress that I've made. I think that would be a mistake to pat myself on the back so early. So instead, we're just going to say it is what it is, and we're just going to keep moving. But it is exciting because there are some things that I've noticed already, some changes in my mental state and in the clarity of thought and the quality of thought. But we'll keep that for another time. We'll see how it persists. In other news, so I've started, not recently, but about a month ago, I started scheduling my days, as in planning the week out ahead as far as hourly splits go and how I want to spend my time. And I've always kind of noticed that whenever I try to instill a habit, I usually throw it out there and it fails, but I see that it's possible because I'll do it a little bit and then it'll fall off for a little bit. But then that seed's already been planted, and then eventually I go back to it. Well, we're coming back to it because it seems just so obviously necessary. Yeah, there's just so much benefit to that I don't think that I really need to go into all that great of detail, but I'm going to get back there. I've already started, I've been studying health forever. That's always kind of a constant, but I want to get more focused and more organized with that. Finances and money I've started as well, but more focused and more organized with that as well. And then I want to start studying history because there's this overlap with history that leads to a lot of interesting connections that I can't make because I don't know anything about history. Obviously I know the basic shit, but I don't know anything else. And the history of humanity is all that we are and all that we have. Why not to know it? How much benefit can come from knowing the things that have happened in the past, the failures that have come before you, to see where you may go in the future. And just for knowledge's sake, the sake of being more educated about our past as a species. Whatever. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with ancient civilizations and just move up through the timeline. And I haven't fully decided yet, but so far I'm thinking that I may just pick a topic and spend a month on, and then move on from there. And then if I want to go back and forth, I can, but then that way I just have 4 weeks of each topic to really immerse. And if I spend 5-6 hours a week, maybe a little less, studying every topic, it's not bad. It's not bad. Aim for 20 plus hours a month. Maybe we could do more than that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't like to jump too far into the deep end when I'm just starting something, but this, I'm just throwing ideas around. But I'd like to do that anyways. I've been listening to Robert Breedlove's What is Money show, and I started at the very beginning where he's talking to Michael Saylor. And basically, Michael Saylor is just going through human history and talking about how humans have channeled energy and, technological advancements that have helped us and, bring it to what is money and how we use money and why it's so necessary. And it's pretty good. This guy, Michael Saylor, yaps a little bit much for me, but when I get past that, the information is pretty good. And I've been really enjoying it. But the point is that he's able to grasp through all of time, or at least recorded history, to make connections to the present and deepen connections to the present. And that's something that I want, that I have to have, essentially. Just a direction that I need to go, and it's been scratching at me for a while anyways. So that's what we're going to do. The only other thing that is really urgent to discuss is that it's become obvious that, I don't have excess capital to throw at this, obviously, right? And so the only currency that I have free or freer to spend on this venture to make its success more likely is time. And so, I've just been thinking, Alex Hormozy, I just saw a thumbnail of his that says my 12-hour work week, and it just got me thinking. I didn't watch the video, but it just got me thinking that what if I did just throw an absurd amount of time at this? How much, like, let's say as a minimum it took a several thousand, like we'll just call it 1,000 hours for the basis and beginning of success in this venture that I'm trying to be successful at. Say it's 1,000 hours, you know what I mean? If I'm doing 2 hours a week, how long is it going to take me to get to 1,000 hours to reach escape velocity? How long is that going to take? Versus if I spend 4 to 6 to 8 to even 10 hours every day, I'm going to get there a lot quicker, right? So that's my thought. Now, am I going to start spending 12 hours a day on this shit? No, fuck no, obviously not. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that, but I definitely am going to start ramping up the amount of time that I spend thinking about planning, recording, editing, and working on in general this channel, because it's so necessary. Every so often it seems like I have this epiphany of like, man, I fucking hate going to work. I hate going to work, and I hate that there are people that are so much less intellectually capable, or at least appearing so, than myself, that are so much further than I am. It's actually unacceptable for me to, like, I can just go to the fucking shorts section of Snapchat and see 10 borderline, whatever, the dumbest human beings ever possible that are successful. You know what I mean? And I can't judge them because they're doing better than I am in that sense. You know what I mean? I am trying to build this, and I'm trying to make something happen. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it'll work. I've never seen anybody around me do it before, but I'm trying. And yet these numerous dunces all across the internet have done it. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I gotta crack down. I gotta get fucking moving. There is really nothing else that matters. I've said that so many times before, but I just gotta have it. I just gotta do it. And now that this vlog thing has happened, it gives me more direction. I think that was really necessary because I was really drying up in terms of creativity. I didn't know really where I wanted to go with it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And is this something that I want to do permanently in terms of the vlogs? I have no idea. I don't have an answer to that question, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that it excites me enough to want to get good at it. So let's do it. That's it. That's all we got. So that's what I'm going to do. Is just push that direction. I'm still going to do these, obviously. They're quick. They're easy. It takes me pretty much nothing, and it contributes to my minimum of one weekly upload, and records the history of who I am, who I've been, and what I've done, which is going to be important in the future, I think, not only for myself, but for my public reputation, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have a catalog of events of this is who I am who I say I am. That's kind of all there is. But yeah, so we got shit to work on. I'm not as willful as I used to be, nor as I want to. I'm actively working every single day in numerous avenues to try and rein that in and harden my mind and strengthen my resolve and my will. I will be working more on YouTube, and I will keep everybody posted. So with that, that's it. That's all I got. Nick out.